I wanted to uh, offer my services. Um, Ideally, I would be paid for this, but due to the nature of the subjects, um, it may be more appropriate that I explore them. However, you know, it is not without risk. And so that is why, the sort of, you know, uh, project parameter um, would be ideal. Okay, so a little bit about me is that uh, I I do really like books. Um, I especially like the idea of being in a good place to read a book, like in your life. I don't mean like necessarily just like physical, like locality. I mean like having the patience and the presence, the interest, the peace to get engaged in a story. I just think it's very sensational. Are these on? Oh my, I don't even know. Um, yeah, it is on, right? Well, anyways, okay. No, I do need them. Um, I think my speaker is on here now, so I do need them. Um, there's been a couple of times that I have found books and it was very sensational. I used to do my Mr. Wasabi, and I cleaned a yoga studio and took lessons there. Um, and I found a book outside the studio one day, and it's called Ash Family or something. And I read it, and it was on the sidewalk in New York City, but like I wasn't really into like disinfecting at that time. Uh, it's so funny. I mean, it's true, but uh, so yeah, I mean, every once in a while, you do something like that to know you're alive. Uh, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not at this time. I'm gonna stay the course, which is books. Um, it's been a couple other books of things. I was very impressed to be finding these spiritual texts that were like hard copy. They were like hardback, hardcover, and they were like all over. Like so I picked one up, you know, and I tried reading it and I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. And I don't remember exactly what it was that I thought was so just like ridiculous, but it was like once I like stopped trying to be, you know, like amicable, I was like, it was like every other freaking word. It was like boom, boom, boom. I was like, no way, you're knocking me out. You need to know this. um, read some other stuff. I mean, like, I read, what is it? It's Divine Comedy. Um, I didn't find that. What's his freaking? I get like the five of them confused. I'm sorry, I do. Uh, I seriously can't remember. Uh, okay, so it's not Lucifer, it's not Hades, it's not Satan, it's who's Divine Comedy? Jesus, I can't remember. Like this literally just happened where I forgot a freaking Pocahontas song. Like I literally just like could not remember. I don't have great memory. I uh am not super smart, but I am super sensitive and I can tell you like verbatim like of a subject if it's hitting a certain way. So anyways, you already know. Um Dante's Divine Comedy. Um right, isn't that it? Oh my gosh. Uh okay. So um I think, there might be an audience for this. I don't know if it isn't, like I was joking around that like back in the day, like pressing the internet button on like your flip phone or whatever was like akin to like a seance. It was like scary. Um, so funny. Um, like what about that is true or false? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying. Anyways, so actually, like I'm a very sort of cautious person. I have been most of my life. And um and so I don't really want to get into it, but I will. Uh I feel like you need to hear me tell you what I think uh Indian deities represent. I do have a Hamsa tattooed on my back. Um, here, see here. Um, so I want to do that. The whole Shiva Ganesha situation. Um, I would like to offer a summary. Um, pay me. I need money. I'm not doing this for free. I'm serious. I want to do it for you. Actually, I seriously don't. but um, but you don't want to know why you don't want me to. So let's do that. And other things, like, do you want me to tell you what I thought the Divine Comedy was about? I listened to it 3 times, and I don't know. Um, um, but other things still. What was the first thing I mentioned? I forget. Um, I never read the Bible. Um, I did try, sort of, a few times. I had like teen versions that I thought were very sensational, but I did not read them. um, ay, ay, ay. I do like, I was just talking about reading, right? I do like to read, actually. Um, and I just think the lifestyle is actually for it being like sort of, this tempo or whatever, I think it's very sensational because like how I was like when I lived in the capital, I was in this like big like industrial warehouse that was like done really fancy, and like I had a view of the Capitol, and we had coffee on tap and like music always playing, and it's like it's like basically what you need to know why you can do whatever else you do. It's like you need people somewhere, being studious, like being present, being contemporary, like like that's literally what's missing. Um and so even though, I do get really busy with that, and um it is not really social uh, activity. I do like I still went out at night and like stuff like that. And ultimately, I don't know, like it wasn't social, um but it was very sensational. A lot of terrible um uh papers out there about terrible things. Basically, you know, like at this point, nobody wants to believe it's true, because, that stuff is sort of locked up because you have to have like academic, like, uh, credentials, to log in. But then also you have to have the wherewithal to, find the stuff. But then, you know, if you care, then you are basically, uh, what's the word for like contagious. You're exposed to uh a lot of reports of abuse that did not get addressed more than the author uh, outlines in their papers. And so it's really bad, because they're very pretentious. They're very, like sure of themselves that like they sound how they're supposed to, and there's no question of whether or not they have some sort of responsibility. It does not come out that way. There's no impression that these people are writing reports to follow up on to vote. No, they're just telling you how they see it. And I read this, you know, dozens and dozens and dozens of times, where they're talking about like mass murders. So, anyways, a little bit about me. Um, I was just recently exposed to Medici. I don't think it's contagious. I've been really doing, taking my vitamins and whatnot, doing my health care. So, but yeah, can you believe it that like medieval times don't exist anymore? And like neither does the Victorian era or Renaissance or I don't know what else, like freaking Neanderthals. Yeah, that's all a thing of the past, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, maybe that's the thing is like, you're like, oh, did they finish that? And it's like, yes, the issue is that there is something really, really terrible about the period or the proactive proactivity, the constructiveness. Um, I'm dead. I gotta go, um, but yeah. So basically, it's like, oh, like, but the dresses are great, and it's like that's literally what happened. Is like you stole my clothes, and you have no brains and no heart, and so you just like ran around murdering everyone dressed like me, and um, and that is what your problem is that you were too complacent. You were like too easily pleased that like you could just get a freaking new outfit and you'd be like, what's the matter? Like, oh, I'm supposed to murder that dude? Oh, okay. And do. And it's like, you are the problem. I just want you to know that. I really do. So if someone will please pay me to say it again, that would be amazing. But I feel like I need to do it live. Like I need to have like my phone. I need to just like go to the internet and just tell you my synopsis of what I read on like the first page or whatever. Um, so you understand a little bit without too much risk. It is not actually chill at all, and that's the whole thing. Actually, is like to act like you know Muslims or like Palestinians or like, you know, Ukrainians, or freaking Africans are like as big of a deal. And it's like, okay, Jesus was freaking nailed to a cross. Buddha sat there until he was skinny. And freaking Jews are like Hasidic and other things, bro. It's like really obvious. Like, and yet you have no respect for me. I have no friends. I have like, nothing to show for myself. And it's like, yeah, like I want to be someone who can, you know, at least understand a healthy concept of worship, of being devout, of being reverent. Like, there's not even a church in my neighborhood, and nobody cares. It's like, you're a fucking bitch. So watch out, because more information coming at you soon.